Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's time for me to do my comic book reviews for the week of January 4th, 2012. Okay, first off from Image. Super Dinosaur number 7. Basically, a number of things. There's 3 different things that happen in this issue. First of all, continuing from last issue with the supervillain Squidius getting dethroned from his undersea empire. It's taken over by the Rogue Dinoman, led by the person covered in the black and gold sort of armor. That's actually known. His name is actually Exile, and basically after they take over, Exile takes Triceratops, another Dinoman, and Squidius's former army of Sharkmen to a volcano where he says they're going to go to Inner Earth, which is where the base of the Dynamos and Super Dinosaur is, so that they can get more of this power source called Dino Ore. And that's how they're going to get there. They're going to go pretty much dive straight through into a volcano, into a magma chamber, and try again to Inner Earth from there. And also, another group of Dinomen, the one that's loyal to Max Maximus, breaks into his old castle. There they find another new Dinoman who apparently looks a lot like Max Maximus, and he says that he's in charge now since Maximus is in prison. And also from what's going on from the whole good guys story is that apparently, as you can see on the cover here, Derek and Aaron have kind of a race to decide which of their little robots is better. Basically, Aaron wins because Derek got distracted by some new Super Dinosaur armor. And then the final scene, though, is with his intelligence weakening and trying to search every possible way his wife can be located. Dr. Dynamo, Derek's dad, has made a deal with Max Maximus to help him escape his prison in exchange for the return of his wife. So yeah. Okay, again, this felt more like a filler issue, but it still felt like the ball was moving at the same time, because now we have, the Exile leading the Sharkmen trying to get to Inner Earth. And we also have this new story arc of the new mysterious Dinomen that apparently Max Maximus used both dinosaur DNA and his own DNA, and also how Dr. Dynamo is now going to help Maximus break out of prison in exchange for his wife. I'm actually looking forward to that whole the thing that's been going on about Dr. Dynamo's wife and Derek's mom, because I want to see how that works out, to see what exactly happened there, and also how we can finally figure out how to cure Dr. Dynamo's diminishing intelligence, because he's just been getting worse since the series began. I mean, his intelligence has been dropping, and now, apparently in this issue, he states he's even had a hard time to remember day-to-day stuff. I mean, that's rough. Okay. Moving along, Marvel. Avengers Academy, number 24. Okay, Reptile is bringing students to the alien wraith known as Hybrid, so that Hybrid can feed off their energy. And also, Reptile is, and again, remember, this Reptile is the future Reptile's mind in his teenage self's body. So, try to remember that. And also, so he's basically bringing particular students to Hybrid so Hybrid can feed off their energy and stuff. Life energy, I think. Yeah, that's how it works. And we also get a little more detail on White Tiger's background, the second or third White Tiger. I'm not entirely familiar with the hero, but this is apparently either the second or third White Tiger. And also a little more of her background's revealed. And then when Reptile brings her to Hybrid, Hybrid tries to access the power of the amulets she wears right here, but suddenly they send back some sort of feedback that knocks Hybrid out, and then And then a fight breaks out between Reptile and White Tiger, where she almost goes into this feral state, but then she comes back to her conscious mind, and right when Reptile has the chance to kill her, he doesn't. Instead, he decides to call for help instead, because ever since Future Reptile came back to his teenage self's body, ever since it's been known to the audience, he's kind of been struggling with whether or not he actually wants to do this, because he knows people will die, and he doesn't want that. So now, I think Reptile's finally starting to act like his old self again by instead not going forward with his mission, instead trying to save people. I mean, that's what it seems right now, since he let White Tiger live and decided to call for help to deal with Hybrid. But unfortunately, when the signal is activated, the rest of the faculty and the students show up. X-23, who joined last issue, goes in first, and then suddenly she comes out along with Reptile and White Tiger, all mind-controlled by Hybrid. Okay, I'm not so sure how that automatic mind control thing does. I mean, it seems like a weird way to set up a cliffhanger ending, but I still like this series. I mean, it really is interesting now that we have the whole Reptile thing, because this is, again, his future self, and he knows and he's from a future where apparently he does have a child, and he still wants that future to happen, but now he's starting to regret it, and he realizes that he can change stuff, so he doesn't want... So now it seems like he doesn't want it to happen if people have to die. And again, though, our new character here, new member White Tiger, a little more about her is revealed. So, if you've been curious about her, then this is a definite issue that you should check out. And if you've been reading the series, then, you won't be disappointed. I mean, this has been a very good series since the start. I mean, I've loved it. So, it's still a nice issue. If you have the time, pick it up. Okay, now for DC Comics. Action Comics number 5. Taking a break from the story arc we've had since issue 1, even though we're just one part away from it, we're now going into a special 2-parter filler thing, which I have no idea why they had to do now. They could have waited till the story was finished, since there was only one part left, but they didn't. Okay, I'm cool. Anyways, it tells the story of Krypton's final days. As Krypton's being destroyed, Jor-El's first instinct, instead of putting Kal-El in the rocket, is actually for him, Lara, and Kal-El to go into the Phantom Zone in order to survive. And right when Jor-El's about to open the portal, some of the Phantoms do start to break through, but then Krypto, the dog, notices this, and he attacks some of them, and suddenly that causes the portal to go haywire, and it doesn't work, and I think Krypto gets sucked into the Phantom Zone, and the portal's destroyed. So their only option left now, which Lara suggests, is to put their son in a rocket and shoot him off into space. And so when Jor-El's basically given the instructions to his ship where to go, he basically just says, find any level 3 world. So it's not like Earth was his particular choice. He said any level 3 world with a yellow sun. I think he does say, though, a world with a yellow sun. And here's another thing, though. He says also for the world to have a low gravity enough for his son to fly. So again, they're kind of bringing that back. Because I remember in the Golden Age they stated that the reason Superman was able to leap tall buildings was because Krypton had a higher gravity than Earth. Well, stronger gravity than Earth. And now apparently that's been reestablished. So anyways, the rocket gets shot off, and and it goes to Earth, lands in near Smallville. Jonathan and Martha Kent find the rocket first. They take the baby out, but then later, after the Kents have left, the military shows up and takes the ship. And then we cut, and now the story starts to shift to the ship's perspective in a way, because then it cuts to when Superman finds the ship in the government warehouse, government building from Action Comics number 2, where he finds the ship and he touches it and gets all crystallized. Then we cut apparently to the future with the ship in a museum, and then suddenly about 5 mysterious figures break in and they steal the ship's kryptonite engine, and then they teleport out. And right when the alarms go off, Superman, present-day Superman, not the Superman from the past we've been seeing with the denim jeans and the t-shirt, present-day Superman with the armor and everything, along with Lightning Lad, Cosmic Boy, and Saturn Girl show up to inspect the crime scene. Okay, and also there is another backup story to this, which I thought was very good, is the story of how Jonathan and Martha Kent tried to have a child before they found Clark. Okay, it goes from their wedding day to when they tried themselves, with Martha going through pregnancy tests and they're all coming up negative. Then they go see a doctor and they learn that would be nearly impossible for them to conceive a child on their own. They try in vitro fertilization. That suffers a miscarriage. Then they go to the adoption agency and they find out that it could take years and a lot of money to get a child. And as they're driving home after meeting with the adoption agency, Kal-El's rocket enters the atmosphere. Sorry about my cough. Anyways, that's where our issue went, and that's where the whole issue ends. The backup and everything. Okay, the main story with the rocket and Krypton and everything, that was a little interesting, seeing how Jor-El's first instinct wasn't to launch Kal-El on a rocket, but instead to put the family in the Phantom Zone. I mean, maybe that was, in a way, a good idea, but I think maybe after a few minutes in, he probably would have realized, wait, how's anyone going to access this place? Damn! Nah, that could have gone horribly wrong, but hey, luckily he saw the rocket around, although he did mention it was a prototype, and, so instead of the whole Superman being rocketed from Krypton being completely planned, Jor-El instead just, I don't know, it seemed more on a whim. Well, I mean, Jor-El knew Krypton was going to explode, it's just that putting Kal-El in a rocket and shooting him off into space, that was more of just a last-minute plan. And, what else? Okay, and another thing, though, this is weird, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the military was probably tracking the ship as it entered Earth's atmosphere because they thought it was a meteor or something, but they just immediately arrived, right after the Kents took the baby. That was just a little weird. How quickly they arrived. And also, this whole setup thing with the ship, and then it just automatically leads into the ship's engine being just taken in the future, and now Superman and the Legion of Superheroes have to figure it out. And apparently it was taken by the anti-Superman army. I don't know, that whole shift with the thing with the Legion of Superheroes and Superman, I believe it is going to conclude next issue because the tagline at the end of the main story is, next issue, see when Superman first took flight. Or something like that. It was just really strange. Strange how shifts like that. I'm not too crazy about the main story, but the backup story, the one with Jonathan and Martha Kent, that was a very well-written and emotional piece, okay? It was how both Jonathan and Martha Kent wanted a child even before they found Clark, okay? And they tried really hard, and I really liked the backup because I think it went into such detail about it. And I'm not so sure if they did a story about this in the past, but I don't remember when they ever went into such detail about Jonathan and Martha Kent getting a baby. I really can't recall anything, but it was a very good story, and I really recommend it. If you don't want to get this issue for the main story, I understand, but get it for the backup because it is very worth it. Alright? Maybe not $3.99, but hey, it's still a good story that everyone should at least read. Okay, so, in conclusion, Action Comics number 5. Main story is about average, backup, really brilliant. I would recommend this, mostly for the backup. Avengers Academy number 24. A little more information about the White Tiger is revealed, and now reptiles may change the future. And Super Dinosaur number 7. Stuff's getting set up. Really nice ending. And that's all I have to say. And that's all I really have to say for this comic this week. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.